Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are returning subscribers and for those who are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am flohkenya and I am happy to have you here. If you can't tell from my brand name, I am from Kenya. Kenya is in East Africa, in Africa. I will do my video in English so I don't have to translate it later. That reduces the workload for me. And also, everything that I say here is just my opinion and based on my experience here. It does not mean that that is what the whole country of Kenya is like or the whole country of the United States is like. It's just a little girl's opinion. I'm just a girl. You know what's funny, guys? I'm actually a bit nervous to do this video. I think this is my first solo video. It's so weird to talk on my phone, to talk to my phone, like pretending I'm talking to people but there's no one there. It feels a bit weird, but I will get a hang of it as time goes on. Honestly, I love Kenya so much. I love being Kenyan, which is why I decided to incorporate it into my brand name. That's why I go by flohkenya, because I really love being Kenyan. I think of all the countries I could have been from, I would pick Kenya all the time. Kenya is such a lovely place. It's such a beautiful place. People are actually very genuine and kind and funny. I think Kenya has the most funniest people in the world. Me included, of course. I'm pretty funny around town. So let's go straight to the video. I am gonna start with point number one. Point number one is dogs. Dogs are very important in the US and they play such an important role here. Like, people really care a lot about dogs. Dogs are second to children. I went to a gala that I was invited to, and it was we were raising money for the stray dogs in the state that the gala was in. And we raised over $1 million for stray dogs, guys. Now, if I tell you the number of stray dogs we have in Kenya, I couldn't even count them. There's so many and it's so normal. Like, no one is panicking that there's a stray dog out there and people feed the dogs. The dogs, they know how to survive in the streets. And those dogs, man, I'm personally not a dog person, I'm a cat person, and I'm honestly terrified of dogs because the trauma that the dogs in Kenya have given me, you guys. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a time one of my cousins was living in this place that had these dogs. You know, in Kenya, when you have these wild dogs, they tell you that at the gate, it's written at the gate that Umwakali means like a wild dog or like a very violent dog, you know, so you don't want to just walk in, you want to be walked in by someone who lives there. And even though we'd been here in this place multiple times, the dogs should have known us by now. My cousin and I were going, to visit my other cousin, and let me tell you, they can sense, and it's like they can sense the fear from a mile away. You're just standing at the gate, breathing in and out. The dog came outside. We didn't even manage to get in the gate. The dog came to meet us. It was like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. The dog came to meet us outside. I'm telling you, the way I ran, MacGyver. And as if that's not enough, I decided to hide in this kiosk that wasn't open. And guess what, guys? The dog, it's waited for your girl. The dog was just sitting there waiting for me. You know, it's like, yes, today is the day. You know, in Swahili, there's a saying that goes, "Nyani kufa, miti zote uteleza." Nakwambia hiyo siku ilikuwa siku ya nyani kufa, guys. Sijaiogopa kama hiyo siku, by the way. The unpredictability of the dog is what scares you the most, because you don't know if it has rabies. You don't know if this is the day that you're going to die. You don't know if you're gonna make the news, you're gonna be mauled to death by a dog. Like, you don't know. When I tell you I see dogs and I go the other way, I go the other way. And one time, okay, last story about the dog. One time, I was taking my sister to school in the morning because she used to school very near our home. So I would walk her to school sometimes, and I dropped her off to school, and there's this neighbor of ours who had like 10 dogs. Dogs that chase you around. You know, you'd think because we grew up with the dogs, they'd know us, right? But they didn't. But this morning, I'm taking my sister to school. You know, I have this lasso on my waist and the baggy shirt because I just woke up and I'm just dropping off my sister. And I get to school and I come back and the sunrise is hitting me so right. And I'm just in my little world and I see my shadow and I'm like, ooh, it's looking nice. So I start to like put my hands up and looking good and doing some things with myself. And then I did the mistake of a lifetime and I started snapping. Like I just reached flow state and I was just like, just so I can see my shadow. You already know where the story is going. So So one thing you don't know about Kenyan dogs, you can call them multiple ways. You can whistle, you can call them in so many ways. And one of the ways you can call a Kenyan dog is by also snapping. Here I was, enjoying my sunrise, snapping my fingers. Guess what? The next thing I know, the next thing I hear is some commotion. It's some commotion. And it's not the commotion you like. It's not the commotion you think, oh wow, some commotion for the action. Nope. You hear something like drum rolls, you know, like and I think to myself, what was that sound? And I just looked back. I looked back. I was like, and my adrenaline kicked in, guys. It was a pack of dogs, a pack of dogs. Me and my lasso and my shirt, and you're running so fast, man. And I oh my god. And then in the mornings back then, the gate that we had, in the mornings they would only open like a small little gate. So I was thinking, should I just go straight, or should I? Because there's no way with this speed that I'm going, and I was going pretty fast because this is like 10 dogs running after me in the morning. And I'm thinking, and when you get into our gate, you have to turn to get into it. It's not like straight ahead, so you have to turn. I was thinking, with this speed, will I be able to get in without the dogs coming in after me? Or should I just run to infinity? And I decided, if I keep running, I'm gonna get tired. All this is happening while I'm running, by the way, you guys. If I keep running, I will get tired. And then they will eat me and they will kill me. But if I turn, I could get in and call for help. And guess what, guys? I decided to go into the gates and I couldn't fit, so I fell. And guess what? That motherfucker bit me. So when I tell you I'm not a dog person, I'm not a dog person. But it's mostly fear. I don't hate them. Back to my point, Americans love their dogs. They have service dogs. The dogs here are trained. They're trained to do a lot. Like there's dogs, service dogs are so like mind-blowingly good. They can sense when someone's diabetic and is about to pass out from low insulin or high insulin or whatever, and they alert the owner that something is wrong with them, you know? There's dogs for blind people and they lead blind people. All these service dogs are so good. I remember when Chihuahuas came to Kenya, there was a time they were like having a Chihuahua, this like Western dogs was such a vibe. And then people got over it because everybody had it now. Moving on swiftly, because if I keep talking, this will take forever. Point number 2 is public display of affection, which is also known as PDA in short. You know, when people are dating and they're kissing and they're touching, here in America, you'll be walking in the streets in the morning, at night, during the day, whatever, in front of cops, in front of anyone, and people are just kissing, like making out, just like cheering each other out in public, hugging, kissing. Sometimes when you're at fairs and like festivals and kids shows and everything, or just a concert and people are queuing, and boyfriends and girlfriends, husbands and wives are just making out in the line, and you can't do anything about it. In Kenya, it's the opposite. I think it's illegal right now. PDA is illegal right now. You will be arrested. You will be arrested if you're doing PDA. And if not arrested, I think you will be arrested, because I know people who have been arrested for PDA who are my friends. And or if you don't get arrested, people will look at you like you are eating the forbidden apple. Like, no, absolutely not. Moving on to the next point. Dressing. Let me talk about dressing a little bit. I remember back in Kenya, there was a time that we had my dress, my choice protests, because basically women couldn't wear whatever they wanted, especially if it was short. And right now, I'm so glad to see that women can wear whatever they want, because no one should be telling you what to wear. No one should be telling you what to put on your body. No one should be telling you what to wear. No one should be telling you what to do with yourself or your body. And in the US, it's not even a question. People just wear whatever they want, as short as it can be. Like, I don't think most of them think about what it's gonna be like bending or like picking something off the floor with whatever you're wearing. I don't think that is ever a concern when you're getting dressed in the morning. You just get dressed. As long as you look good standing up, you're good to go. And I love that. I love that. I love girls looking cute. I love girls getting dressed up looking cute. The dress I'm wearing right now barely covers my but I'm just home with my husband, so it's all good. But it's just amazing. And in the summer, it gets so hot and humid depending on what state you're in, and people just drive around shirtless with just shorts, the boys, and then the girls just wear bikini tops and nice cover-ups. And sometimes when you're around the beach area, people just wear bikinis and walk around. And people wear bikinis that are thongs around their family. Damn! And it's not a big deal. In Kenya, the moment, watch out a bikini, my friend. Like, I'm talking about shorts, short shorts. Everyone is thinking, oh, you've been so westernized, oh, blah, blah, blah. So it's so crazy. And when you're moving, so here's the culture shock. When you're moving from that kind of place to this place, when you start wearing shorts, because sometimes it gets so hot and humid that you really cannot wear anything. Like, if you could choose, you could walk naked because it's that humid. Humid is when there's a lot of humidity, a lot of wet air. There's like air, the air is wet. So you feel like you're being splashed with water and it's hot. So you just want to take off your clothes, you know, and walk next to naked. Well, obviously you can't walk naked unless you're a hippie. Man, I want a skinny dip so bad, you guys, so bad. I want to go somewhere and just skinny dip. Skinny dip is swimming naked. You know, in Kenya we call it dufobararo. Skinny dipping. Yeah. Where? There was a time, let me give you another story. Plenty of time, oh my gosh. There was a time when I was young, I went to see my other grandma somewhere, and they were staying in they were actually staying in Membli before Membli started, like before Membli became so populated. And there was this river, my friend, or like a little pond that had, I think it was a river because the water was flowing. I can't remember correctly. It was more like 15 years ago. And this group of cousins that lived there convinced me to go do Fompararo with them, skinny dipping. And the reason why we were skinny dipping is because we didn't want my grandma to know we were skinny dipping. So we had to skinny dip. Because if you swim with your clothes, you're gonna be wet. And she was so serious about not swimming in the river. There we were, swimming in the river, naked. And you know the thing with skinny dipping, or dufumpararo, if you call it that, is the way you used to get ashy after, like kuparara. Then you ulikuwa unaparara after dufumpararo. There's no way my grandma could not tell. And we got home so late. And my grandma could just smell the river on us. And let me tell you guys, the beating that we received was tantalizing. Hey guys, we were beaten. The next day I was like, I'm going home. I'm not coming back here. And I never went back there, by the way, you guys. By the way, if you're watching this, it's not because of that time. It's for other reasons. But it's not because of that time. I'm good. Like, no hard feelings. You know, I moved on. Oh, what? Also, I realized in America, people dress according to the season. Like, there are colors that people wear most when it's winter, most when it's fall. They wear the fall colors, like the burgundy or dark reds, dark oranges, mustard, all those colors that are like darkish, and the look like fall trees and leaves. And during spring, they wear florals, because spring is where the flowers, the trees bud, you know, so that they create flowers to become leaves and blah, 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 blah. Photosynthesis. But, so that happens, and it's so beautiful to see. Like, you don't just wear anything. Well, in Kenya, we don't have seasons, which is another thing. The equator passes through Kenya, so we have equal days and equal nights. Which brings me to my next point. We don't have seasons in Kenya. We have equal days and equal nights, and the weather is kind of like Californian weather, which is more bipolar. It could rain today, it could be sunny here and be cold the next hour. It could be, and then you have wet and dry seasons, and then you have cool and dry. You have all those seasons, but it's not like a specific season every time, every year, every year like the US. The US has seasons, which is winter, spring, summer, and fall. And those seasons are such a culture difference. There's such a shock if you come from a place that has never had seasons, which is mostly most African countries, because your body is not used to it. First of all, in Kenya, it's almost sunny every day except when it's not, when it's raining, and the sun's gonna come out sometime soon, right? So when you come to a place that has seasons, and and we're in winter, for example, you suffer from low vitamin D because you're not getting the sun as much as you used to get the sun when you're back home, you know? So you get here and you start suffering from low vitamin D. And you never know. I think this is what I say about sicknesses. You never really know how your body functions until one thing is not functioning right. Once you're low on iron, you start to know what iron does in your body, because you start to lack it and you start to feel it. And vitamin D and everything, and etc, etc. Snow looks good in photos, but it doesn't feel good long term. Like you enjoy snow when it just falls and you're just like, wow, it's beautiful. When you're glommed up, you just want to get out there and take some sexy ass photos, you know what I'm saying? But it's super, super cold. It's like opening your freezer and sticking your face in there. And the wind during winter is like a sword, a two-edged sword, cuts through your soul. It's so cold, it hurts your lungs. You have to cover your everything, even your eyes are just like if you could cover a sir. Bruh. That's how cold it is. It just looks good in photos, but it's really, really cold. Kenyan weather, top notch. Kenya is also on a higher altitude. I'm gonna get so geographical here, but Kenya is also on a higher altitude, so the air is lighter. I don't know how to explain it, but when you move to the US, you will notice the air is different. You know, it's like you're breathing nothing. In Kenya, you can tell that you're breathing air. I don't know how to explain, it's different. But California feels the same way as Kenya. The air is different, but it's also because California is on a higher altitude. I think California might be on the same altitude as Kenya. So the air is crisp. Crisp is the right word. The air is crisp. And that was one of the culture shocks I had. It felt like I was fake breathing. It felt like, the hell? Like, it didn't feel, and maybe it's just that home feeling. It didn't feel like home. You know, it didn't feel like home. And after traveling to so many countries, you also start to notice the air feels different, the air smells different. The soil is so little, everything is tarmacked. Like everything is like a parking lot, everything. It's good because it stays clean, and when it rains, it's like someone washed it. But in Kenya, when it rains, it smells so good. It smells like nature. One thing I've noticed after being so obsessed with nature nowadays is Kenya grounds you. Kenya grounds you a lot because you are interacting with nature a lot. You are out there experiencing the true nature. Nothing is touched by anyone. The sky is untouched. Everything is just crisp and natural. The fruits, I was just talking to my husband yesterday about it. The fruits are yummier. The mangoes, God, the mangoes. I am missing the mango season, guys. The mangoes are so good. The fruits are so juicy. Most of the fruits here are GMO. It's very hard to find something that came straight from the farm. Even when they say it came straight from the farm or it's organic, it's usually GMO. You know, it's usually, it just, oranges don't grow this perfectly, you know? Like it looks like an orange that went to a group of schools. You're just like, wow, what was life like for you? You know? No, in Kenya, Kenya is so good with the food. Everything is just, even KFC tastes better in Kenya because the chicken is fresh, it's good, it's, the wheat is from, like everything is just natural and it's amazing. It's one thing I appreciate about Kenya. The other thing I'm going to talk about is community. Community. Kenya has community. Saying pro Kenya, I'm just preaching about Kenya. Anyways, guys, let's move to Kenya, guys. Here we go.